Hi, Ms. Putman here. Today is part two of RI 4.9 Integrate information from two texts on the same topic in order to write or speak about the subject knowledgeably. The big idea is to read two texts on the same topic to be able to discuss and write or just even have a conversation about the two differences. Yesterday we did coronavirus using Scholastic, and today we're going to use coronavirus on National Geographic. I originally was going to use USA Today, but it was more for older adults. This one is more geared towards children, so I felt like this one was a better go to. So as we read, we're going to take notes, of course. I am going to do some think alouds, and I'm going to stop after a couple parts because yesterday's article was cut into 5 parts, so it was easier to keep track of. This one's a little bit more tricky because you have it's a little bit longer. And you also have short parts and you have longer parts. So I did go ahead and put in the points that I was wanting to make, of course. But I did chunk it a little different, and you'll see that today in today's video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get that pulled up, and let me switch myself that way, and then let me switch myself this way. And I do have the article, or well, yeah, okay, here we go. There we go. Let's go back to the top for me. What is coronavirus? And I'm going to start right here at coronavirus because this is just kind of like a small introduction. So, what is coronavirus? Coronaviruses are a family of viruses that affect animals. Occasionally, coronaviruses have been known to move from animals to humans. The coronavirus we're talking about today is a new virus which causes an illness called COVID-19. Very interesting. How did the outbreak start? It's not completely clear how the outbreak started, but it's thought it's likely to have begun in Wuhan, China, at a local meat market known to sell wild animal meat. We still don't know for sure which animals sparked the outbreak, but it's thought that the new virus could have originated in bats. Bats weren't sold at the market, but they may have come in contact with the animals that were. So this is interesting because I'm sure you can already tell some of the differences as well in what we read yesterday and what we just now read. So, and we're just now getting started. So I'm going to stop right there, and then I'm going to pull up my article, and I'm going to switch myself to talk about my first note. So the first thing that I noted on this, I'm sure ours are going to be very similar, is the virus affects animals but has been known to move from animal to humans occasionally. It's thought to originated in Wuhan, China, at a meat market that sells wild animals. The virus could have originated in bats, which may have come in contact with other animals that were sold at the market. So this gave us a tad bit more detail than yesterday's article, but very interesting still nonetheless. All right, let's keep going. How is coronavirus spread? Because we haven't encountered this virus before, scientists are still working hard to discover exactly how it spreads. Similar viruses like colds and flus spread through water droplets and coughs and sneezes. These droplets can live on a surface and spread when someone touches them with their hands. People become infected when they touch their hands to their mouth, eyes, and nose. Woo! Now, that one is a little bit smaller, but I did put that one by itself on my notes just because I felt like there's a lot of information in just that small little part. So I did put, excuse me, unsure of how it spreads, but similar viruses like the cold and flu spread through water droplets and coughs and sneezes. People become infected when they touch their hands to their mouth, nose, and eyes. And think about back to my article from yesterday, it did say something about that. So that's definitely something I'm going to look into when we compare the two. And let's swap back. Here we go. What are symptoms of coronavirus? For the most people, including kids, this coronavirus isn't dangerous. Interesting. It will make them feel poorly for a short time before they make a full recovery. For a few people, like the elderly and people who have long term health conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, or asthma, the risk of becoming very ill is more serious. That's why these people who are making extra efforts to have less face to face contact with others at the moment. So that means you might have to change the way you keep in touch with grandparents, friends, or family who are vulnerable for the time being. For example, how about video calling your grandparents or sending them a letter? It's good to keep in touch, but in a way that keeps you and others safe. So, what are some symptoms? That includes a fever, dry cough, tiredness, and feeling achy. All right, so this one's very interesting for me, and I'm sure it was to you as well. So let's swap that over. Coronavirus isn't dangerous. It will make you feel bad for a short time before making a full recovery. Only elderly people and others who have long term health conditions, excuse me, who like diabetes, heart disease, or asthma become seriously ill. In case you're wondering, I just got done cutting grass, so that's why I'm a little sneezy right now. I do not have the coronavirus. So that is what I gathered from that part of the article. That's what I gathered from them talking about what the symptoms and how people who have underlying conditions are at uh, more harm than those who are not. All right, let's switch back over. Let's keep going. What can I do? There are plenty of small, easy things you can do. You probably do some of them already, but at this time, we just need to be extra sensible and cautious as we go about our daily lives and activities. Wash your hands more regularly for at least 20 seconds. That's about as long as it takes to sing happy birthday twice. Dry them with a paper towel and then chunk it in the bin. If you can't wash your hands with soap and water, then use hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your face, especially your nose, eyes, nose, and mouth. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze, which I don't think I did that, did I? Bend the tissue and wash your hands afterward. Try to avoid hand to hand contact with others outside of your immediate family. There are all sorts of ingenious ways people around the world are learning to make contact with each other without touching hands, like foot shakes instead of handshakes, or even the elbow, which we're seeing a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up the PowerPoint again, and let's look at point four. Point four. So symptoms include a fever, cough, tiredness, and body ache. To help prevent spreading the virus, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, don't touch your eyes, nose, and mouth. I forgot the N. Cover your cough or sneeze and avoid contact. So that is what we gathered. And then the last point, I'm doing 5 because I did 5 yesterday as well. So the last point is, what are people doing about coronavirus? Thankfully, there are a lot of people like scientists, government officials, and medical professionals working extremely hard to learn how to better prevent, control, and treat the virus. Scientists are working with speed to create a vaccine, which will give people protection from the virus. It's hoped that they'll have a vaccine ready for trial by the end of 2020. In the meantime, there are a lot of changes being made to help slow the spread of coronavirus. Some of them might feel a bit scary or unusual, but rest assured they're being made to keep you and others safe. People who feel unwell and the people they live with are being asked to self isolate. That basically means staying at home for 14 days so that you don't pass the virus on to others. People can't come to visit you during this time, but you can go outside if you have a private garden or balcony. People in some countries or cities are being asked to practice social distancing. This means basically keeping your distance from others, avoiding social gatherings like meetings with friends, going to sporting events, or gigs. This is to help prevent the virus from passing from person to person. Your parents may be asked to work from home. This might mean your family routine changes while they spend more time than usual at home. Your school may be closed, meaning that you'll be staying at home during the week. Your teacher may set up schoolwork for you to do at home or even teach classes online. And then also, cafe, restaurants, events, and other public places may be closed. These changes won't be around forever, but they are important steps towards the slowing the spread of coronavirus. And let me switch my article around to show you my fifth point. So, my fifth point, I did put that they're working to get a vaccine by the end of 2020. And then the rest of the article, I'm not necessarily going to read because it's just talking about tips on how to keep yourself safe, changes that might take place because of the virus, and things you can do to occupy your time and keep you busy and not just be thinking about this virus the entire time. So as you saw today, what I did was I just took what I thought was most important part of this article and I put it down into my notes. And what I like to think about is if I was to take this piece of information out of the article, would it change the article? Yes, it would, because if I did not list the symptoms of coronavirus and I just told you what it was, then you would never know if you actually have it or not. You need to know the symptoms, you need to know how you can prevent it. So, what we did, we took the most important pieces from this article and we put them down into notes. What you think that if you read something, oh, that's definitely going to be a question. And I know all of you have done that. Oh, that's an important. I'm going to go ahead and underline it because I bet that'll be a question. So that's what I want you to think about when you're reading. Oh, that might be a question, and then write it down. Now, we're trying to avoid rewriting the whole article. So only pull out what you think is important. Now, you will be working with this article and the article from Tuesday tomorrow on Thursday, and you'll be working with those two. But for today, you're just watching this, and make a comment at the bottom and tell me what you found that was interesting. It could be on the YouTube channel or on your Google Classroom under your teacher's Google Classroom. I do hope y'all have a great evening, great day, whatever time of the day you're watching this. I hope you have a great day, and I will be talking with y'all soon. Farewell.